Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So it's the Gunnar Solskjaer and Mikel Arteta battle on Sunday at Old Trafford. It is a 4:30 kickoff. I've just recently given you my preview for the game. I think Gunnar Solskjaer will school Mikel Arteta. But it is going to be a very, very good game and I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously the game at Old Trafford last season between Man United and Arsenal was 1-1. The game at the Emirates was 2-0 to Arsenal, so Mikel Arteta has already overcome Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once. Arsenal have not beaten us at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006, so that is over 14 years ago now. Arsenal though do look a better team under Mikel Arteta. They did make some good signings in the summer transfer window. They brought Willian in on a free, they brought Gabriel Magalhaes in, and they brought Thomas Partey in. Arteta made a few other signings. He brought Pablo Mari in and Cedric Soares. They've got other good players in their team. They've obviously got Kieran Tierney. They've got David Luiz. They've got William Saliba. They've got Dani Ceballos. And they've also got Nicolas Pepe. They are the players that Unai Emery brought into Arsenal. I think probably Arsenal's best player is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And I also like Lacazette. Arsenal, though, have let a lot of good players go, like I mentioned on the preview. They let the likes of Robin Van Persie go. He actually joined us. They obviously let Alexis Sanchez go. Arsenal probably made a mistake by letting Alexis Sanchez go. They let the likes of Olivier Giroud go, Sami Nasri, Jack Wilshere, Aaron Ramsey. Was it last year, if I'm right, that they let Koscielny go? They let Lichtsteiner go. And I think Danny Welbeck also got offloaded. Arsenal have got some players injured. I think David Luiz is out. Callum Chambers. Rob Holding, he's also out. Pablo Mari. Gabriel Martinelli. And I think Willian has recently been out with an injury. Arsenal have played 6 games so far in the Premier League this season. They've won 3 and they've lost 3. This was a very, very good game, Man United and Arsenal, when we had Sir Alex Ferguson and when they had Arsene Wenger. Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United. Wenger endured 22 years with Arsenal. Wenger probably had around 12 good years out of the 22 years he was with Arsenal. We want to win this game against Arsenal because if we do, it will be our first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We are unbeaten in our last 4 games in all competitions. We recently had a very, very good win against RB Leipzig. We're beating them by 5-0. We've had a very, very good start to the group stage in the Champions League. We've won 2 out of 2. So we've registered 6 points. We've beaten PSG and we've beaten RB Leipzig. It's going to be interesting to see how Ole approaches this game against Arsenal on Sunday. I presume that he'll make some changes from the 5-0 win against RB Leipzig. There's 5 players that are out for us. Alex Telles is not going to be available for Sunday because he recently got tested positive for COVID-19, did Alex Telles. Solskjaer said though he's got no symptoms. Alex Telles was absent from our squad against Leipzig, and he also didn't play any part in the game against Chelsea, so he couldn't make his Premier League debut. Telles though was impressive against PSG on his debut for the club. I said Telles will be a very, very good signing for Man United. You know, I think we got him for around 15 million euros, with add-ons included. And he signed a 4-year contract with the club with an option of a further year. Eric Bailly is obviously unavailable. Eric Bailly is out for around 3 to 4 weeks with a muscle injury. That was confirmed by Gunnar Solskjaer. That's my element of concern about Eric Bailly. He is injury prone. Jesse Lingard, he's unavailable. I think he's been out with a knock. Anthony Martial, he won't be available for the game on Sunday, unfortunately. He's got 1 game to serve, and then obviously his suspension's up. Martial did get sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, but, you know, Martial obviously shouldn't have been sent off. Phil Jones, he's also unavailable as well. I think he's out with injury. So, there you go. Now, I think for the game against Arsenal on Sunday, Solskjaer will probably stick with a 4-2-3-1 formation. He has been going a lot with that formation since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. I know I've said a lot, he doesn't really seem to suit our standards. It obviously worked in the game against Leipzig, no, didn't it? I've said I think we'll look more effective with the 3-5-2 formation. One of the main explanations why I think Man United are going to win this game is because our record against the top 6 side since Ole got recommended in has been very, very good. You know, last season, Ole beat Pep Guardiola 3 times. He beat Frank Lampard 3 times. He overcame Jose Mourinho once. We got a draw out of Liverpool as well, don't forget, last season. And he's obviously overcome Julian Nagelsmann and Thomas Tuchel. You know, and Arsenal haven't been in the best vein of form recently because they've had back-to-back defeats. After Arsenal, we do play Istanbul Başakşehir. That's our other game in the Champions League group stage. And then it's Everton. And then after Everton, it's the international break. Now, Marcus Rashford, he should be starting this game against Arsenal. He didn't start against Leipzig, but he came off the bench and he scored a hat-trick. Rashford became the second Manchester United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. And I said to you, Marcus Rashford's really, really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, Marcus Rashford's been part of the club anyway for several years. Rashford is nearly the age of 23 now. And he's been a United player since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So he's been in our senior squad now for over 4 years or so. But I'm hoping he starts like I mentioned. Don't forget, by the way, Marcus Rashford scored twice on his Premier League debut against Arsenal back in 2016 when we beaten them by 3-2. I think Edison Cavani could make his full Premier League debut for the club. Because obviously, like I said, Anthony Martial's not available, so Cavani could play in Martial's position. Cavani's done well in his last 2 games when he's come on. He did quite well against Leipzig, and he did well when he came on against Chelsea. Almost scored with his first touch. Like I've already said to you, I think Edison Cavani will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We got Edison Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day. And Edison Cavani signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 220 grand a week. And obviously he's our new number 7. I'm expecting Mason Greenwood as well to start this game against Arsenal. Mason Greenwood did start against Leipzig, obviously scored in the Leipzig game. That was his first goal for Manchester United in the Champions League, and that was his 59th appearance for the club. Mason Greenwood, before that game against Leipzig, weren't playing a lot, was he? He did come on late against Chelsea, but the 2 previous games prior to that, he didn't play in them. Solskjaer, prior to the Chelsea game, defended Mason Greenwood, and he blasted our ex-players for criticising him, and he said the English media started to go after him. But he also denied Ollie that Mason Greenwood's timekeeping was poor. We had a few issues with Greenwood at the start of the season, didn't we? Now, I'd like to see Donny van de Beek make his full Premier League debut for the club. I think Donny van de Beek is going to do really, really well at Manchester United. Van de Beek did start the game against Leipzig, surprisingly, because I think a lot of Manchester United fans didn't expect him to start. And that was his first game in the Champions League. First start, yeah. But prior to the Leipzig game, Solskjaer was talking about Donny van de Beek, saying that he will play a big part this year and he will be an important player. And he said, the topic is Donny van de Beek. And Solskjaer basically said when he has played, he's done well. And I think he explained why Donny van de Beek hasn't been playing that much, because he's obviously trying to find Donny van de Beek his best position. He did play in number 10 against Leipzig, but he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. Patrice Evra and Gary Neville recently criticised Donny van de Beek. We paid around £40 million for him from Ajax. Van de Beek signed a 5-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year, and Van de Beek currently wears that number 34 shirt. If Donny van de Beek starts, he'll start instead of Fernandes, or he'll start instead of Pogba. We won't play Bruno, Pogba and Donny van de Beek. That won't happen. So I think it'll either in that mid, it'll either be Donny van de Beek and Bruno, Donny van de Beek and Pogba, or Paul Pogba and Bruno. That's what I think anyway. Paul Pogba, I think there'll be Manchester United fans expecting him to start on Sunday. Pogba did start the game against Leipzig. That was his first start in 3 games, something like that. And he got the assist for Mason Greenwood's first goal. Paul Pogba hasn't enjoyed the best of starts to the season. There is a lot of uncertainty regarding Pogba's future at the football club. I think there's Manchester United fans that are expecting Paul Pogba to leave the football club next summer. Because a few weeks ago, Paul Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. Last year, he was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane. And he said he wanted to leave Man United because he was seeking for a new challenge. There's obviously been rumours of Pogba going back to Juventus, because Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. He said a few weeks ago Barcelona were interested in him, and PSG, I think, have been interested in him. The other week, don't forget, we triggered that 1-year extension on Pogba's contract, so that keeps him at the football club until June 2022, and this was also confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. If we sell Paul Pogba next summer, we can probably get from 60 to 70 million. We will find it hard to get more than the £89 million that we paid for him. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing. And this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined from Juventus. For the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on him because he was out with that ankle injury, Paul Pogba. I think Fred and McTominay should be involved. They could both start, Fred and McTominay, but if they don't, at least one of them will start. That's what I do believe. Fred's undroppable at the moment, let's be honest. Fred has just been exceptional. I think he started our last 4 games now, hasn't he, as Fred? But I think Fred's very mobile on the ball. He dictates the play well sometimes. His runs on and off the ball seem to be very, very good. And I've seen a lot of improvements in his game under Ollie. Fred has been at the football club now for a couple of years. Something like that. We paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk back in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. And as for McTominay, I've been very impressed with him recently, Scott McTominay. And I've been critical of him before, but he deserves to be praised, I will praise him. McTominay's been part of the club for several years. Was it just after the first lockdown, McTominay signed a 5-year deal with the football club, didn't he? Matic, now, do you think he could be involved? I don't see him starting this game on Sunday against Arsenal. He surprisingly started against RB Leipzig. He weren't too bad though. Thought he did quite well. Passed the ball well. I thought his hold-up play at times was good. Matic has actually lost his place in the team. Matic also had some good games towards the end of last season. Matic has been at the football club now a good 3 years or so. We paid £40 million for him from, was it Chelsea, back in 2017. Luke Shaw, he'll start this game, definitely, because obviously Alex Telles isn't available, is he? I like Luke Shaw a lot. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. Luke Shaw's enjoyed a good 6 years or so now at Manchester United. We paid around £30 million for him from Southampton back in 2014. Harry Maguire, I think he should be playing at centre half. Harry Maguire, to be fair, he has rejuvenated himself recently. Because Harry Maguire did have early season troubles because he had that instant in Greece the other month. Then, obviously, he had a few knocks. He got sent off in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark, and that's it, yeah. There were his early season troubles. Harry Maguire is obviously our captain. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world because we got him in a deal worth £80 million, didn't we? Do you think Lindelof will start this game Sunday? I'd probably drop Lindelof and I'd probably put Axel Tuanzebe alongside Maguire because I want Tuanzebe to get given a start. Tuanzebe did come on against Leipzig, but I wanted him to start against Leipzig. He did start in the PSG game though, and that game against PSG was his first start for Man United in 10 months, Axel Tuanzebe. I think Solskjaer was talking about Tuanzebe before the Chelsea game, and he challenged Axel Tuanzebe to add consistency to ensure that he has a long career at Man United, and obviously Solskjaer hopefully can remain injury free because he has sustained quite a few injuries. But he's another option at centre half, isn't he? But more than likely he'll probably play Lindelof instead of Tuanzebe, won't he? To be fair to Lindelof though, he has rejuvenated himself recently, hasn't he? And Wan-Bissaka, he'll obviously start. He's our first choice right back. I've been very, very impressed with Wan-Bissaka in his last 4 games or something like that. Don't forget Wan-Bissaka scored in the Newcastle game. That was his first goal for Manchester United, and that game against Newcastle was his 50th appearance for the club. I think it was actually his first ever senior goal. This season's Wan-Bissaka's second season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. De Gea, he should be in goal. I've already said to you, David De Gea will remain our number 1 this season. He's rejuvenated himself though, as David De Gea. Got to give him a lot of credit. He's done well in his last 3-4 games for Man United. De Gea. He's been long serving at the club. This is now his 10th season at Manchester United. Like I said to you on the preview, I don't think Daniel James will start. He may not even be involved in the game. I don't want him to start anyway. Juan Mata, he won't start the game, I don't think. Like I said, Matic, I don't think he'll start. Obviously, Odi Nagalo, he obviously won't start as well. He's another one. So yeah, there you go. But, got to say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at Manchester United. Because that win against RB Leipzig would have taken a lot of pressure off him. Wouldn't it? A few weeks ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was close to getting sacked by the football club. It was after that 6-1 hammering against Tottenham, and there was obviously talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Obviously, we were seeing Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to Pochettino. Now, I said to you a few weeks ago that Ole has been in the same position as what he was in at the first part of last season, because at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, didn't we? And Ole was close to getting sacked then. Like I said, if we did sack Ole, it'd cost the club around £4 million. Ole's got a contract with the football club until 2022, so he's got just under 2 years left on his contract. But I honestly think he deserves a lot of credit, does Ole, because I think he's a great tactician in Europe, like he's proved, And I'm hopeful that he can succeed as Manchester United manager. I know he hasn't got that proven pedigree, obviously, as a manager. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Ole's, obviously, before he was with us, he was at Mould. Before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. So Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. But reflecting now on he's been at the football club, Ole, he has gained managerial experience. He has been at the football club now for almost 2 years. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019 as Ole. This season so far, we've played 5 games in the league. We've won 2. And we've lost 2. And we've drawn 1. So reflect on that, we're sitting 15th in the Premier League, aren't we? But I've said to you, we've got to address our home form. We did win our first home game, obviously 5-0 against Leipzig, but we need that first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League, don't we? I said to you, I think Gunnar Solskjaer needs more backing in January. I'm hoping Ollie's still Man United manager in January. It all depends on what happens from, now, doesn't it? Hopefully we can build on that fantastic win against Leipzig and go on a good winning run and that. But I think in the summer transfer window Ollie wasn't backed enough, because we missed out on all of his priority targets and we missed out on a lot of targets in general. And Ollie said quite a few times during that summer transfer window that, he was very, very infuriated with the board. But the club have been demanding the board out for several years. Reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, and we've also overpaid for players, haven't we? You know what I mean? But this season's his second season at the club, and we're already making plans for January, on who we're going to try and sign, because I think we do need a couple of more signings. Next year, we're obviously, going to offload more players, because, there is still deadwood in the squad. The news on Dayot Upamecano from RB Leipzig. We are the favourites to sign him. We're going to go in for him next summer. He's going to be available, I think, for around £38 million, because that's when his release clause will become active. He'd be a very, very good centre-half alongside Harry Maguire. He really, really would. Like he updated you recently, he said we wanted Adama Traore from Wolves. We're planning to make a move for him in January, but he'll cost us around £90 million. He's a winger and he can play as a wing-back. It's very imperative that, Man United do get a winger in, isn't it? But if we could get a top 4 finish this season, and if we can win a trophy, I'd say that represents a good season for Manchester United. It really, really does. Ole has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. And, Solskjaer's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. We've seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. I also like the way Ole's promoted the youth. So there's definitely positives to take, and I'll credit him for what he did in his first full season at the club, because he got us qualification for the Champions League, also got us third, and guided us to 3 semi-finals. I think we are at least a few years off from winning the Premier League title yet. And that's one thing I've got to say. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so last time won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. But we are the most successful team in Premier League history, because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. In the last 7 years or so, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've won 4 trophies since Fergie left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, the Europa League, the League Cup, and the Community Shield under Mourinho. That came in Mourinho's first season at the football club, didn't it? But, yeah. So, the starting 11 prediction for the game will be coming up tomorrow, and who I think, we're going to play in that. I've obviously mentioned some on this video who I think, should start and all of that. But, will Ollie be doing his press conference tomorrow, or will he be doing his press conference on Saturday? It probably will be tomorrow, his press conference for the game. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.